All right, this true transformative fitness. You see, I brought the mic out for this one because you need to hear this one. This is titled Body Recomposition the Correct Way. I'm gonna knock it out the park like Barry Bonds on steroids back in the late 90s. All right. So first and foremost, the incorrect way is someone who's fairly overweight, and they're overweight, and they what they do, they just do a bunch of cardiovascular work. And what happens, yeah, the scale does go down, correct? But what ends up happening is that they lose weight, and then they have saggy skin. You know what I mean? They have no symmetry to the body. Okay, you know what I mean? Yeah, the goal of losing weight, and then also a problem with that too is that the metabolism isn't stimulated. The correct way to do it, right, is to perform. Actually, hold up. I'm gonna go back to the first one again. With the first one, I'm gonna give another example, like somebody who's taking Ozempic or something like that. You know what I mean? Where they just lose the weight, and then there's no shape or symmetry. You know what I mean? If they're putting no exercise behind it, right? So let's move on to the correct way to do it. The correct way is a painful endeavor. Okay, it's a painful endeavor. That's why everybody don't go down that road, right? So you're all going to have a cardiovascular component, right? But the other component is a physiological process that you have to go through. There is no pill. There's nothing else that can replicate this process. And what that process is that you're going to be purposely, strategically creating uh, muscle soreness. So like basically we're causing a disruption in a localized muscle group. Let's just say your quads or something like that. Where we're going to be causing strategic swelling to where the body is going to interpret as a stressful event, right? To where the body is going to start building tissue. And that process is painful. You know what I mean? That process consists of high reps, sometimes low heavy reps, sometimes pyramid sets where you're starting light, you're going heavy. Sometimes you may start heavy, go light. Sometimes you stick with the same weight and go a light weight and go high reps. This thing, and look, I'm just using the legs as an example. You know what I mean? You're causing muscle swelling. So as you're losing weight, the muscle tissue is building itself out. You see what I mean? So, once you get to a certain point where you build the muscle and losing body fat at the same time, you fill up that space where you won't have that saggy skin on average. Okay? On average. You know what I mean? But swelling up that tissue over and over and over and over again is a dedicated process you have to be committed to. You know what I mean? But it's painful. But the best thing about this process is that you're going to increase your metabolism, right? Because with more muscle, your metabolism is going to be cranked up anyway, right? But also, in addition to that, you're gonna you're gonna you're gonna you're gonna become more calorie, like you're gonna be able to ingest more calories by default. So you're gonna be able to stay lean and be lean without trying too hard. You know what I mean? Once you get to a certain base point, you know what I mean? So that's the correct way to do it. One day you got your cardiovascular work, the next day you're doing uh full body training where you're breaking the muscle tissue down and you're causing swelling and a disruption to where the body has to adapt. You know what I mean? And when you're doing that, you're creating your body's ability to heal faster. You see what I mean? See, you can't see, all these weight loss drugs and all that can't give you that. You see what I mean? The ability to heal yourself faster because your body is taking that swelling like a traumatic event. So pain relieving hormones are being released upon your body. You know what I mean? So with that process happening consistently, your body learns to heal itself faster. You know what I mean? So that's how you recomp the correct way and you look like a masterpiece. All right. I got more coming. Done.